Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Citi News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight, I'm here with
Ejubi Wiafe Akentin.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
We think that within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they should be ready with the report so that we can get to the root cause of this challenge and all the other issues surrounding this very, very unfortunate incident.
Energy Ministry sets up 7-member committee to investigate fire at Gridco substation at Akosombo. Meanwhile, is Dumso back or a pure case of installation challenges? We'll be hearing from the people in charge of our power sector here on Eyewitness News. Also, coming up, Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice Shraj warns against possible donor freeze over the LGBTQI bill.
In as much we are about to consider the memos, I still would put out a call for honorable members to consider in the area of funding how best we could put up a clause to cater for this humble request.
And later on Eyewitness News, transit freight forwarders at Tema demonstrate against a decision by Gapoha to transfer containers unilaterally to Kbong. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Bank of Ghana signals accounting impact of stabilization measures in 2025 account.
That's in 15 minutes from the Citi Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations and around the globe on citinewsroom.com. The show is interactive. Join us on WhatsApp 0549 986 996 0549 986 996 or go on X and mention my handle at Umaru Sanda or at Citi973. Do use the hashtag Eyewitness News when you send your message. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's start off with the power sector now. And the report we are having from Akosombo, a fire outbreak that we are told affected a substation of the Gridco, the Ghana Grid Company. That has forced the Minister for Energy and Green Transitions to set up a 7-member committee to investigate that fire incident. Now, the Minister, Honorable John Abdullah Jinapo, also directed that from Monday, 26 April, a total overhaul and audit of all energy installations are conducted to test the country's readiness again. He made this statement when he visited the Akosombo, the dam site. He went along with his deputy, who is gracious enough to speak to us tonight, the Honorable Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transitions and Member of Parliament for Goma, the Honorable Richard Jan Mensah. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Thank you, Mario.
Hope everything is well with you.
It is well by grace.
We thank God. You went with your boss to Akosombo today. Can you talk to us about how bad the damage was, if it's that bad, and how significant that station is to our energy mix?
Okay, thank you, Mario. I want to take the opportunity to say a good evening to your team and also to your cherished listeners. I think the preamble you have given yourself yesterday, around 2 p.m., we received a report of a fire outbreak at the Gridco substation at Akosombo. And the outbreak actually caused disruptions in the operations of the Akosombo power generation area. And obviously also came with an attendant effect on the power supply of Akosombo, which resulted in some power cuts around some part of the country last night. And I think even today, some areas are also affected. I must say that we're visiting the site today. I went to the minister to assess the extent of the damage or the extent of the disruptions that the outbreak actually caused. It is significant, I must say. However, we are assured by the technical team on the ground that they are putting in place very effective measures and steps to make sure the power is restored within a reasonable time.
So
and in terms of how critical it is to our national generation of power supply, I must say it is very significant because this is just at the base of the Akosombo generation plant, and that is a control unit that the power from the generation plant is actually distributed from. So at the time when we visited the site, all the 6 units of the Akosombo plant were shut down. However, they assured us that by close of today, 1 unit is likely to be put on. But the fire outbreak did not affect the Akosombo generation installation. Neither did they even affect the distribution, the substation. The switch yard was also not affected. This mainly was on the control unit. So the whole control area. We went to the technical, your cameraman and then your team, and I believe you might have seen some of the pictures. The whole unit was down because it took between 2 to 3 hours before the fire was actually able to bring down able to put off all the fire from the system. So, and if you look at the building structure itself, I think it was built to contain such eventuality. So the fire was not coming out. So if you stand outside, you may see just smoke. But the fire was actually very huge within the building. So the effect was very devastating. If you look at the wires, the cables, and all those things, it's very devastating. But we have the technical team from Gridco and then VRA. The engineers are all on site, working around the clock to make sure that power is restored, as I said, within reasonable time.
It means that we don't know what caused the fire as yet.
So the cause of the fire outbreak at the moment has not been ascertained. And that is why the engineers on site and the technical team are actually working to also ascertain it. But that is part of the task the minister has given to the 7-member committee chaired by Engineer Amona, who is currently the MD for ECG and the former MD he's currently the board chairman of ECG and then the former MD for Gridco. So as part of their report, they would also come out with ascertaining the cause of it. But you see, the cause of the fire is very much important to us to know. However, we are so focused now on how we'll be able to restore, remedy the situation to ensure that power is fully restored to the general public.
You talk about restoring power. Does it mean, as we speak, the whole of the power we get from Akosombo Dam is not in our grid?
So after the time, as I said, at the time we visited site this one, because even when Akosombo the hydro dam or the hydro generation center are able to generate any power, how they will be evacuated, the power will be evacuated is what was affected.
So it's a transition. So now, it's a transition point. Not so the production point has no problem. It's a transition, which is what Gridco uses to carry the power to the pylons. Is the problem.
The generational point or production point is not affected. The transmission side through the transmission lines is also not affected. It is mainly the control area.
So maybe call it the collection points.
Yes, to the collecting point to do the distribution or the transmission is what has been affected.
And is it for the entire power we produce or generate from Akosombo, or just some part of the power that we generate that we cannot transmit?
The whole control unit, the control area was actually affected, such that even when you produce or you generate from the dam, you will not be able to transmit the power. But you see, if you look at the effect of it, even though at the moment, if you look at the amount of power supply that is being affected, or that is about 1,000, close to about 1,000 megawatts. That is huge. But there has been a 1,000 megawatt supply or outage means it's a huge area that will be affected. However, because we have some other generations in the system, we've been able to augment what we are currently producing to make sure that at least most part of the country get electricity. And where areas that were affected last night, you can even see that if you look at the areas within the Kasua, Dansuman, Bawe, Ablekuma area, and then some part of the Ashoman area, even within those areas, by midnight, power was restored. Those areas. So during the peak period that we have this huge deficit, will be affected. But the technical team assure us that by close of today, they are likely to put one unit on board to make sure that once that goes through, they are very sure that they assure the minister within 5 days. But the minister appealed to them. So now what it adds is that they work around the clock 24 hours. More gangs are brought on board. So engineers from other even part of the country should all come on board so that they can cut down this timeline from 5 to maybe about 2 or so. However, we will start some of the plants, and then the grid system will also be able to manage what we already have in the system, the relations that we have in the system, to ensure that most part of the country are not affected.
What percentage of our national power grid is supplied by Akosombo so that we can have an idea how many people are affected, and then we talk about the interim measures you are putting in place while the engineers work?
So, what I would say that Akosombo actually have a significant percentage in our generation mix. However, at every point in time, our demand is not the same as the supply or maybe the production. Well, our available capacity is higher. So when you put everything in the mix, yes, Akosombo has a significant percentage. However, at every point in time, others are also coming on board. There are times that even though Akosombo has that significant percentage, but it's not every time. There are times where some of the units maybe not be active or be rendered idle for some time. So I can say that if Akosombo has this percentage, that percentage is that percentage represents the number of people or the public that who will suffer the power outage. It will not be a fair representation.
So because the power that Akosombo supplies is not connected to one community, so you cannot say community A or community B will be affected because you can get power from other places.
Yeah, once you generate and then you put in the transmission line, so power coming from Tema, power coming from Omasu, Kumasi, those coming from the Takwadi, Abuazi area, those from the renewable energy source, they are all within the transmission line.
Okay.
So a power outage at even a generational point may affect areas not just within where the power generation is being made, but in some other places.
Okay. Does it mean then now that we have this shortfall in our generation capacity or mix, there was going to be some load shedding of a sort until the engineers finish the work because there's a gap?
So, yes, there's a gap, but as I said, the engineers are assured us working around the clock, and we will not be able to come out with I will not be able to tell that this, at the moment, this is the amount that we have short in the system because we are currently generating, and I'm yet to receive a report of the demand as of this evening. So when the demand as of this evening far exceeds what we are generating, that is where there will be a need for some outages. But when the demand we have currently meets, or what the supply that we have, the generation that we have now meets the demand, then even though Akosombo is down, we may not have some power outages.
Because
I must be very fair to you that it is very likely that between now to tonight and maybe by tomorrow, some areas may have some outages if the demand for this evening out it's more than the generation that we have this evening.
Okay. Even before yesterday's fire outbreak and the resultant outages that we saw, there have been complaints and concerns about a return of Dumso, which is the situation where people have challenges accessing power all the time. What other problems do you have in the power sector? For which reason people have been complaining about power outages? Is Doomsaw back?
So rightly, I would say that Doomsaw is not back. But I must, because I say so because when the times of Doomsaw, that is when the times that we're having challenges with generation. At the moment, had it not been what happened last night, I would have said that we don't have any issue with generation. Our challenge has been the intermittent power supply that we have experienced within the last few weeks, mainly from challenges within the distribution and then transmission end. And these are mainly due to some obsolete equipment that we have in the system. You know, our power system, most of our lines are overboard. So we have the lines up there. When giving rain, and when there's a storm, and then a tree actually falls on the transmission line, it can have an effect. There are some of the transformers that we have which are also overloaded. Let me tell you one thing. There's one thing about power usage now. When you have a transformer within an area which is stable, once the power situation becomes stable, demand goes up. And as much as the demand goes up, we overload our transformers. So now that is why the ministry or the minister with the support of government has initiated the replacement of transformers, and we are determined to put in more than 2,000 transformers into the system to make sure that all the overloaded transformers, and not just the distribution end transformers, even the major substation transformers are being changed. Last week we were at Lasibi, where a 23-year-old transformer had to be replaced. We went to somewhere around that Ginger in the market to do stuff, and then it's coming across areas where they need to also have even a primary substation. We are working on taking some there, especially within the river areas, for instance. They are considering to put in add a major primary substation, especially around our farm area. Around the Jumako area in the central region, something is also in the line. When you go to Kumasi and then the Bota region especially, a lot more work are being undertaken to make sure that the intermittent power outage due to the system that we have will be improved.
Do we have a timeline by which this transformer replacement exercise would end? Because people are sending messages saying even before your transformer change started, they were having challenges with power supply anyway. But granted that transformer is the reason, when do you finish with the transformer replacement so that at least they have a heading and a clearance as to what is going to happen?
Well, I wouldn't just limit it to just transformer change to resolve the challenge. We are not doing only transformer change, but we've seen that the transformer change is significant in the effort that we have to put in place. We are looking at several things, like as I said. When you go to the Bota area, for instance, you have to do more with the transmission, which currently the DRICO has gotten commission authorization, and then a consultant has been engaged. Just I cannot give a timeline because I'm not a technical person. But in terms of replacing transformers, obviously, it's within a 6-month period, all transformers that need to be changed will be done.
6 months, that's a very long duration, isn't it, for people to enjoy?
I said all. You see, I said all transformers. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will take us 6 months to. I said within that period. I'm very being much more objective in terms of because there are technical issues. There are areas that we have already started the transform. When you go to the north, even yesterday, when the incident happened, my minister, Honorable Dr. Janabulai, was in the north, following up and then checking some of the transformers that are being worked on. When the incident happened, and he had to actually return last night to make sure that today we are on site to ascertain the challenges. So it is not to say that it is going to take us 6 months. Technically, I am not speaking on the basis that from the briefing that I've had, we are very hopeful that within the shortest possible time, all the transformers that need to be replaced will be, or be changed, will be replaced. So this is what I'm just saying. I'm giving the very objective timeline, and hopefully, somebody mentioned that we were experiencing this before the past. So that is why we've identified that some of the challenges that we have in the system, beyond maybe some cable challenges, significant among them is the transformers that we need to improve. But we can all assess that our generation, in terms of the generation with demand, we have challenges with meeting the generation with the demand. So we want to make sure that once generation is done, the demand side is also being resolved.
Just as by way of reminder and emphasis, the Akosombo issue, you are hopeful, the engineers, what they told you, they are hopeful that by next week, Friday, they would have brought everything back online, but they are hoping to get one unit back online by tonight, correct?
So the unit coming online tonight would then actually, it's a new system they are trying now. So as I said, the generation itself doesn't have any issue. The generation of Akosombo, all 6 units can come on right now. But the challenge is that when it comes on how do you collect and then transfer the power? And that is why what they are currently putting in place is to check how the first one goes through, which they are very optimistic of it working. Once it works, then within the timeline they gave to us, which the minister has appealed to them, to expedite it so that we can experience power within the shortest possible time.
Yes, so I'm saying that, so at least that's for tonight, but you give and take. If they work 24 hours by next week, Friday, they should have finished restoring.
Oh, yeah, because even they gave us 5 days from today.
Okay.
So that would obviously have taken us to somewhere Wednesday.
Okay.
However, the minister has still appealed to them, so we are hopeful that by Monday they should be able to, without compromising on safety and then professional standards. We don't want to compromise on anything.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Okay, thank you, Mauro. It's a pleasure speaking to you.
That's the Honourable Member of Parliament for Gomoa West, who is Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Richard Jan Mensah. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra. I am Umaru Sandamadu here with the Jubi Biafe Akenten. We return to talk about other issues that we have here for you on Eyewitness News. Please stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Kuma has always dreamt of commanding his own military forces.
Attention! Eyes right, stand at ease.
Because that dream is still a vision in progress, he spends his time commanding his money with the EcoBank mobile app.
Operation Supplier Payment. Dispatch 1,000 units of currency from Accra to Benin. Move! Move!
Sometimes he wants a little extra control so that he can buy only what he needs.
Command Center mobile app. Activate virtual card protocol and initiate payments for sneakers and t-shirts. Abort mission for leather coat payment.
Even when the general is fast asleep, his standing order marches out to sort his bills. With the EcoBank mobile app, you can command your money to make safe transactions in Ghana and across 33 African countries. Download the EcoBank mobile app on the Play or App Store today.
By the left, about turn.
EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. EcoBank will never call or send an SMS asking for your PIN, OTP, bank card, or Ghana card details.
This damn patch again. Ebo, look at this wall. Every few months, the same damn patch comes back. I've painted it twice already. What is all this? Kofi, you can't find moisture with paint too. The problem is inside the building itself. Yes. So what can I do? The house is already finished. Simple. Gasem Super Strong Waterproof Cement. It's a new cement with built-in water protection technology. Water protection. Yes. So it's just for repairs. No, my friend. That's the difference. Use it to fix dampness and seepage. Or use it for new buildings. Foundation, block work, plastering. One cement that builds and protects.
Wow.
Gasm Super Strong Waterproof Cement. The one cement that builds and protects. Build it right once. Gasm, the nation builder.
Electroland Ghana Limited, ye mamo, Achedi Kesio. Where ye de my dread for woman ye didn't ye. A sansa munukre de aso ye ninti. Ye mamo, Achedi Kesia pa. Achedi Kesia ye de mo enemy. Every Accra, a quartamali. Ghana fanenina. Electroland eye number 1. Near here is over to Samsung, TCL, Media, any Nasco Niama, Electroland showroom. Any anamo si for one more Ghana fanenina. And also dial *928*8888# Ube to Miss Wako register.electrolandraffles.com. And now by now watching your Busumia Kradia UB. Now wait to me and Yachedia Kesiepa. Free TVs, ACs, fridges, gas cookers, washing machines, sound towers, mobile phones, any near Kikahua, ye ma wo nkwa tumedi NLA Caritas platform no agiatu kaisa nhihye kakra wo ho Electroland Ghana, rewarding your loyalty the big way.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Let's talk about the bill that has generated lots of debate. The Anti-LGBTQI bill, which is currently going through pre-laying consultations, where there are a series of meetings or engagements happening ahead of the bill. Now, the stakeholder engagement that has been set up is hearing from a number of persons who have interest in this particular conversation. You've heard from proponents of the bill, members of parliament, and so on. Let's now hear from the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. Now, the Director of Human Rights at Shraj, Mary Nati, was at this particular stakeholder engagement meeting. Madam, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much.
First of all, why did Shraj need to be at this stakeholder engagement for this particular discourse?
Thank you very much. Your questions goes then.
Madam Ajele, your line is really bad. Can you hear me? I think I have a challenge hearing Mary Ajeli Nati. She's Director of Human Rights at Shraj. We'll try to reconnect with her. Let me bring some of the messages that you've sent through on WhatsApp. This one from Abi National in West says, ECG VRA need to look into population growth. Ghana population is more than consumption we have. Akapo Jr. and Afomim says, the minister in charge of our energy sector must be candid enough to tell us exactly what the problems are in the ministry. He must tell us if Dumso is back so we prepare adequately for it. Kennedy Onipayede says, I am sure there may be some unscrupulous individuals involved in the fire outbreak. The Minister of Energy must sit up. Wills Yoga says, and he's texting from Abuja in Volta region, he says, commendations to the Energy Minister for the swift and decisive intervention in forming a team to investigate the substation fire at Akosombo yesterday. This proactive response demonstrates strong leadership and commitment. Jones Adboinla says, good evening. This is a clear case of sabotage after almost 1.5 years with a clean sheet of proper governance and no scandals to talk about. They are now resorting to physical sabotage. Dumso will never return under Mahama's government. You can also send your message like Adolf has done from New Bawe. And he says, I suggest that management of the Akosombo Dam takes advantage of this unfortunate fire outbreak to segregate the control room into 2 or more control rooms to minimize the damaging effect in the country as it did yesterday. Let me return to the LGBTQ matter. Mary Ajeli Nati is the Director of Human Rights at Shraj. Madam, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Omar Sanda.
Apologies, we lost you earlier. So the question, why did Shraj need to be in the room where these conversations were being had?
Thank you very much, and good evening to your listeners. Shraj is the National Human Rights Institution of Ghana, mandated under the 1992 Constitution to promote and protect human rights. And so wherever human rights issues are discussed and wherever the rights of persons are in question, Shraj has a mandate in the area of human rights to come in. Again, when you look under the global framework on human rights institution, we call it GANDRI, Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institution. Shraj is an A-rated member of that institution, meaning that we are human rights compliant when it comes to doing our work. And under the global framework, there's a guiding principle called the Paris Principles. Under the Paris Principles, national human rights institutions have key responsibilities to ensure that within the country in which they operate, they offer advisory to government as one of the responsibilities. And in offering advisory to government, you agree with me that government will include the executive, the legislature, and all others, and all other government agencies. And so when it comes to promulgation of laws, the National Human Rights Institution has a responsibility to guide the Parliament in ensuring that the bill is well couched with the human rights lens. And so over the years, we have actually made input into relevant laws. And I must say that based on that, the Speaker of Parliament has even formed a National Human Rights Committee, and we usually work hand in hand with them when it comes to human rights issues related to the work of Parliament. And so, as a National Human Rights Institution, we found ourselves in carrying out our mandate and performing our role to be in the House to bring to bear key human rights principles and where necessary to advise Parliament accordingly.
Okay, now, if what the proponents are saying is what we should work with, they are essentially saying that the people who are engaging in the act that they want to have a legislation against are doing something un-Ghanaian, and that's why they want a law to properly deal with that matter. So whose right are you protecting? Is it the right of the generality of Ghanaians or the rights of people who engage in LGBTQI plus activities? If that question is posed to you by the ordinary person listening, what would be your response? Whose right are you defending or protecting in this matter?
I'm happy you posed this question. When you look under our Constitution, Article 12, the Constitution mandates all persons to uphold and to safeguard human rights. And I, as a National Human Rights Institution, I'm also mandated to promote and protect the rights of all persons. And all persons here include vulnerable persons, marginalized persons, and all other persons. So we are talking of the rights of minorities, rights of persons living with persons with disability. We are talking of rights of persons with albinism, rights of children, rights of women. These are vulnerable groups and marginalized groups of which the Commission is mandated to also ensure. So we protect the rights of all. And it says all persons, and that's the word we need to emphasize. All persons in Ghana. So you may be a foreigner, but then once you are within Ghana, we are supposed to ensure the protection of your human rights. Yes. And like I said, vulnerable persons include LGBTQ persons too. And the key population, persons with HIV, they are all within the category. Yes.
Now, you raised a fear when you went for the engagement. You are looking at the purse or the donations that or the donor support you've been getting over the period. Is it the case that you are afraid or concerned that passing this law would amount to kissing your donor funds goodbye?
Well, I won't call it an issue of phobia or fear. It is an issue that needed clarification when it comes to sponsorship, because the bill prohibits funding or sponsorship in an area of an act which is prohibited, an act or activity prohibited under the bill. And for us, it is important to also understand that as a National Human Rights Institution, most of our activities are donor-driven or development partner-driven. And so, in as much what we do may not be prohibited under the act, it's important for us to clarify that institutions like SHRAJ, where we are mandated under our 1992 Constitution, we must be be allowed to receive the necessary funding support to undertake our work. And I must say that Parliament agreed with us in this light, that it is important there must be some kind of exemption clauses to ensure that not just constitutional bodies, statutory bodies, professional bodies who are in the area of public health, medical services, in the area of promotion, protection, and enforcement of human rights, they are allowed to carry out their duties without any hindrance, without any criminal liability in this regard. And again, the Constitution has said that any law or any act that is inconsistent with the Constitution is null and void, or that particular provision may sin against the Constitution. The Supreme Court has given the opportunity to interpret such clauses or provisions. And so the good news is that the recognition that we are a constitutionally mandated body and our mandate, our functions are all grounded under the 1992 Constitution. It is important that we seek clarification. And the good news is that that has also been resolved.
Does it mean that you would then be given permission to take donor funds in promotion of LGBTQ activities?
Promotion of LGBTQ activities are prescribed under the bill. But the promotion and the protection of human rights is another thing. Yes, I know some people may be confused
I'm trying to get the connection.
Of the word.
So what's the connection?
By the use of the word promotion in human rights and then the promotion of LGBTQ activities. When it comes to promotion in terms of SHRAJ work, one, we undertake public education. We are required to educate the public on their rights. We are required to also conduct research, conduct systemic investigation to find out the human rights situation in various thematic areas. So this is the connotation in which the word promotion can be used. And indeed, we also flag it with that promotion may be negative or may be positive. In the light of SHRAJ work, is a positive one. But when you are promoting activities that are prescribed, that is criminalized under the bill, then you are committing an offense. Just to clarify that.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure coming your way.
That's Mary Ajile Nati. She's Director of Human Rights at the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Accra. I am Umaru Sandamado. Let's now hear from the chairperson of Parliament's Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, the Honorable Shaibu Mahama, who is MP for Daboya Mankaragu in the Savannah region. He has been responding to the statement made by the SHRAJ director. Listen.
Nobody, no individual will be affected, or rights of the individual will be affected. And so this is very important. Above all, I mean, we are oblivious of, we are very mindful of our obligations to international communities and treaties. But that is subject to the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And so we are mindful of all these as we consider the bill.
So that's the Daboya Mankaragu Member of Parliament and Chairperson on the Constitutional Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, Shaibu Mahama. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We will return with more, but in case you want to know how to listen to Eyewitness News while outside Accra, Jubi has a list of stations.
In the Western region, we're live on Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM, both in Takrade. In the Bono region, tune into Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyane. In the Ahafo region, we're live on Hamas Radio 106.5 FM in Koso. In the Ashanti region, tune in on Focus 94.3 FM and Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. The Volta region, it's Revival on 99.3 FM in Tajewu. In the northern region, we're also live on Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM. In the Upper East, it's Pure 100.5 FM in Navrongo, Bolga 102.7 FM in Bogatanga, and in the Upper West region, we're live on Tunson 97.3 FM in Wa.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Yes, you're not.
Momo. It has made life happen in lots of good ways.
Mr. Kwanzaa, Minsak insurance claim no. That's it.
It has put together beautiful weddings. It has filled the bellies of boys at their favorite watchy joint.
My guy, stop. Who they chop cancel these days?
It has made millions of businesses possible.
Minsak alone no. We are back in business.
With just a few taps, money moves faster, easier, and safer. Momo understands the weight of your trust in us. We continuously enhance security with features like self-paying research to help you protect your money. Momo will only call you with 0244 300,000. No MTN or Momo staff will call or ask for your PIN or one-time password. Do not transfer funds to anyone whose identity you have not verified. Do not approve any prompts you have not initiated. Momo, still Munsaka.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Yeah, welcome back to Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sandamadu here with the Jubibi Afiakente. Let's go to the port now. And the port has been in the news the past few weeks. Now, this particular group that I'm about to speak to has a different kettle of fish to deal with. The group is called Transit Freight Forwarders Association. Who are they and what is their problem? William Abebio is president of that association. Mr. Abebio, welcome to Eyewitness News.
Good evening, Omaro.
Who are Transit Freight Forwarders Association?
Well, Transit Freight Forwarders Association is an association that ensures the operations of transit consignment at the ports. We make sure transit containers, transit trucks are cleared and delivered successfully.
When you say transit containers, does it mean they are not containers destined for Ghana?
Sure.
So you are in charge of containers going to Burkina Faso, Mali, and all of those places. That's what it means.
Exactly, Omar.
Okay, what problem do you have with the Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority?
Well, Umaru, let it be on record that Transit Freight Forwarders as an association, we are not against the fact that transit Burkina-bound containers are being transported to Spain. But there are some operational challenges. We actually registered our displeasure event our Spain yesterday. Operational challenges be that the routes linking from the transit terminal to Spain. We all know the vehicular traffic on that stretch, and the road is not safe, and all because of the traffic as well, and also the security at the port. As of now, at the terminal actually, as of now, there are only 4 GPHA security officers in the terminal. The lighting system very poor, and Umaru, the major issue we raised actually yesterday was the fact that there are no provisions made for customs, structures put in place for customs, and also ICOMs. ICOMs may manage the system at the port, and they have e-tracking devices that are fixed to containers. So those devices track whichever containers, transit containers that are loaded at the port. They've not made provisions for customs and also shipping line. GPHA, they don't own containers. containers are owned by the shipping lines. They've not made provisions for the shipping lines, no provisions for revenue, and they are creating rooms for diversion. Because if you are transporting containers to the terminal and you've not made provisions for e-tracking, which tracking devices are going to track the containers? So they are making rooms for containers to be diverted. So all we are saying is that they should make the facility fully operational before containers are transported to the terminal. These are our concerns. And finally, Umaru, the terminal, there is a waste site opposite the terminal, and the scent emanating from the site, from the waste side, is too much for the human organ. So these are the concerns we raised yesterday.
Did the GAPUA not explain why they are having to move these containers, and are these explanations not sound to you, perhaps for decongestion exercise and so on?
No, Umaru, looking at the challenges I just listed, we are not, and I have indicated it, we are not against it, and we are in favor of the fact that GPHA are decongesting the ports. But before those containers are transported or transferred to the terminal, make the environment operational, make the environment safe for all the stakeholders or the agencies that will make sure there is safe clearance at the terminal. But as at now, the situation at the terminal is not safe for freight forwarders.
Who is in charge of going to fetch a container that is needed, which is at home? Is it the GAPUA that does that, or you do that? And if you are the ones who go to do that, can't you charge GAPUA for that?
Well, we are yet, Omar, we are yet to take that action, and as you asked, it is GPHA who are in charge of that.
So if the GPHA is in charge of that, and they decide that this is where they want to, they intend to keep transit containers, it is within their right to do so. I don't get the difficulty here, because they own the yard and they decide where to place which containers for which purpose.
But Umaru, humans, we work. We as freight forwarders, we work hand in hand with the GPHA. So if it is true that they have custody of these containers and as to where those containers are to be moved, that shouldn't be an issue for the freight forwarder. But we are the ones clearing those containers. So if the facility you are transporting those containers are not safe for the agent to go and clear. So these are the concerns we are not saying that they shouldn't transfer containers to the terminal, but make the facility safe for the agents, because there are no customs, there are no revenue. Now, if the agent wants to raise invoice, you have to move back to the long room from pool to long room to raise invoice. And as I indicated, structures, provisions have not been made for shipping lines, because before you a freight forwarder or an agent opens container, the shipping line rep have to sign the deal. I mean, that is the receipt, okay, before containers are opened. It is house to house. They have to write interchange, and they have to look at the condition of these containers before interchanges are effected. So if you have not made provisions for shipping lines and you are now transporting the containers, now they are now telling us that before, if your containers are sent to home and you want to do examination, they provided a bus for the agent and the custom officer to go to home. And after that, the custom officer has to return to the transit terminal. So look at the frustration. We are saying that make provision for the custom officers, the shipping lines, and the ICOMS officers, so that the place will be fully operational. And we are not against the fact that they are sending those containers there.
Okay. Finally, the demonstration you stayed today, has there been any formal response from GAPUA to you?
Yeah, we're invited by the director of ports. He has assured us that our concern, he said our concerns are valid, and so they will be addressed. But we think that before these assurances came, I mean, they should have made the situation on the ground safe before you transport those containers. But tomorrow you can send your team to the coal terminal, and you will not have a safe air to breathe at the terminal there because it is opposite the waste side.
All right. Thank you. Let's leave it here for now. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.
That's William Abebio. He's president of the Transit Freight Forwarders Association. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We have Point Blank coming up at 6:30 or 6:30. And my guest tonight is a member of parliament from the OT region. And he would be engaging as he's actually representing the people of Krachi in the OT region. So you would want to stay tuned in for that. The Member of Parliament for Krachi East, Nelson Kofi Jabab, is my guest. We'll be talking about his concerns and other issues. But that would be after business news on Eyewitness News, which comes up next and brought to you by Republic Bank. We are the one for you. Join the Republic Verse. Do more, shine more. Big up.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Mr. Kojo, 1 minute before you go to work. The AC you said you want to fix, it won't work.
Why?
Because the electrician will come and chisel my wall. It will make my building weak. Wait, is that a puppy? No animals in my house,
Kojo knows all the challenges about renting. That was his reality until he discovered Republic Bank. With Republic Bank's flexible mortgage solutions, you can move from tenant to homeowner quickly. Imagine stepping into your own home, a place for your family to grow and create memories. Big up. Join the Republic Verse. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News. I am Ejibi Wiafe Akente. Let's settle for the details. The Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, has indicated that the bank's 2025 financial statements will reflect the accounting cost associated with the country's recent macroeconomic stabilization efforts. He made this known at a meeting with the Council of State in Accra. Here's more.
Speaking at a meeting with the members of the Council of State on Thursday, the governor explained that while policy measures implemented over the past year have delivered notable gains in inflation control, exchange rate stability and reserve accumulation, these outcomes have come with measurable financial implications for the central bank. A key driver of these costs, he noted, was the impact of the domestic debt exchange program, which led to a significant decline in the income from the bank's holdings of government securities. Additionally, the disinflation process achieved through sustained monetary tightening resulted in elevated interest expenses linked to liquidity absorption operations. Dr. Esiama further highlighted structural costs associated with the bank's gold purchase program, although he indicated that these have moderated over time. He also pointed to valuation effects arising from exchange rate differentials, particularly the gap between gold acquisition prices and interbank market rates used for balance sheet reporting. Despite these accounting pressures, the governor emphasized that the bank's operational capacity and policy effectiveness remain intact. He noted that the stabilization measures have strengthened macroeconomic fundamentals, citing a sharp decline in inflation, a build-up in external reserves, and improved resilience within the banking sector. Looking ahead, Dr. Johnson Esiama acknowledged a more uncertain global outlook, including elevated crude oil prices, but maintained that Ghana is entering this phase from a position of relatively strong buffers.
Netele Nete Ajahu filed that business desk report. The newly elected president of the Ghana Hotels Association, Victor Opoku-Minta, has pledged to advocate for a continuous professional training across the hospitality sector, leveraging the Ghana Tourism Authority's 1% levy as a key driver for industry growth and capacity building. Speaking after the swearing-in of the association's national officers, he noted that investing in human capital remains critical to improving service delivery, enhancing competitiveness, and positioning Ghana as a preferred destination within the global tourism market.
We believe that the tourism levy, amongst other things, is spearheaded at training. And so for us, we cannot look at training just sporadically or occasionally. Training is something that's ongoing. And so the engagement we bring to the table is where we can have a calendar that says that every year at this time we undertake so-and-so training, and all this, the whole idea is should be sponsored through the tourism levy, okay, whereby hospitality professionals within the industry get a certain amount of training and development within every calendar year throughout. And for us, tourism is not a one-off, it's a continuous process. And it serves as a reminder, it serves as a tool that helps continue to sustain high levels of service within the industry.
Victor Opoku-Minta is the newly elected president of the Ghana Hotels Association. Away from that, Universal Merchants Bank UMB is rolling out wealth management solutions to address the growing challenge of interstate succession in Ghana. The bank has launched UMB Legacy Care Plus, a product designed to help customers plan and manage their estates, ensuring that dependents are protected and assets are properly transferred after death. Head of Registrar and Wealth Management Nine Nkumsa Sapon, speaking to the media after the launch, noted that the product comes at a critical time when many families face uncertainty due to the absence of structured estate planning.
It is a wealth management solution, yes. And don't forget that for us at UMB, we are registrars as well. So we have been in this registrar business since 1976. We have dealt with shareholders. There are times that we are even in our offices and 25 years after somebody has died before they bring an early for us to transmit shares. And we notice that it is because there's no structured way for people to transfer their wealth. And so it is very important. And we also know, in fact, there are lots of people who would want to do a will, but they don't know where to start from. We are a bank. We provide wealth management solutions and banking solutions. And so, in as much as we are thinking of how to help your business grow, we also are thinking of how to be able to transfer the business or the wealth that you have acquired for the benefit of your loved ones.
Meanwhile, head of corporate communications at UMB, Edem Knight Tay, says the UMB Legacy Care Plus solution is inclusive and tailored to meet the needs of a broad customer base, regardless of income levels.
Legacy Care Plus is targeting everybody who is 18 years and above and of sound mind. You don't have to be educated. You don't have to be overly rich. You only need to own a property you can actually call or prove that it's your own. And then this product is for you. We have our branches dotted around the country. You can walk to any of the branches and then you can have a conversation. And then it will be taken from there. However, you can also call the contact center. I will put the number out. You call the contact center and then you will be reached wherever you are. We're not positioning this to cut off anybody. We know that people dying interstate in this country is a big deal. We've seen a lot of people suffer because their parents, let me just put it their way, or family members who cater to them didn't make wills.
That was the head of corporate communications at Universal Merchants Bank, Edem Knight Tay. Now, the Ghana Union of Traders Association says it is engaging with authorities to ensure a more transparent implementation of the Publican AI system following discussions with government. The AI-driven platform was introduced to digitize customs processes and enhance the reliability of revenue generated from inputs. However, the initiative has faced strong resistance from some industry stakeholders. Despite these concerns, the Ministry of Finance has defended the policy, insisting it is necessary to improve efficiency and revenue mobilization. General Secretary of the association, Richard Amamo, tells Citi Business News that although business groups still have reservations about the system, they have agreed to collaborate with government to ensure the policy is implemented successfully.
As for the counseling, that is our first call. We say they should cancel it so that we can dot the I's and cross the T's. Then after that, they can introduce it again. But they thought that pulling it back will cost them financially. So we said that, okay, let's interrogate it, know the basis. So we want everything to be transparent so that at the end of it, or if they are churning out certain figures which is not, it is so egregious, then we can correct it. As we speak, our bone of contention is that they are churning out garbage because they have inserted garbage into the system. So we'll be part in cleaning, sanitizing the system.
Richard Amamo is the General Secretary of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Now, latest figures from the Ghana Statistical Service show that households headed by people with no formal education are the most vulnerable to food insecurity. Nearly 1 in 4 of such households have poor or borderline food consumption. That is roughly 10 times higher than households headed by people with tertiary education. The report also reveals that about 1% in 3 households are being forced to adopt coping strategies such as cutting back on spending or selling assets to get by. Government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu says these findings highlight the need for more targeted interventions to support the most vulnerable households.
Households with no formal education are up to 10 times more vulnerable than those with tertiary education. And thirdly, those dependent on small-scale agriculture face significantly higher risks, in fact, about 6 times higher than those in trading or savings. And then fourthly, limited market access and high food expenditure burdens further increase vulnerability. The findings tell us one thing, that national averages are not enough. What we must do is to go deeper. The implications are very clear. First, targeting must improve. We must focus on high-risk regions and vulnerable groups with precision. Second, we must act earlier. Coping strategies are early warning signals. If we wait until consumption collapses, we are already late. Third, social protection must scale and deliver impact. Currently, from the survey, only about 1.5% of households report receiving assistance. This is not sufficient. Fourth, we must invest in resilience. This includes climate-smart agriculture, diversified livelihoods, and stronger food systems.
You heard government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu. And that's all for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by Republic Bank. We're the one for you. Join the Republic Verse. Do more, shine more, big up. I am Ejibi Wiafe Akinti. Up next is Point Blank.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
The World Cup is coming, and this time you're not just watching it, you're living it. Match Experience Hospitality is giving you front row access to football's biggest stage in absolute style. Think VIP stadium seating, exclusive lounges, gourmet dining, and priority access. No stress, no hassle, just pure football luxury. This isn't just a ticket. This is the World Cup experience. With over a decade as an official FIFA sales agent, Match Experience Hospitality knows exactly how to turn a match into a lifetime memory. So upgrade your World Cup. Call 055-155-1119. Visit matchexphospitality.com or walk into any Absa Bank branch, our official banking partner today. Match Experience Hospitality. Don't just watch the game, live it. Match Experience Hospitality is doing this with Absa Bank as its official banking partner and Glyco as your official travel insurance partner.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
It's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information.
MTN.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. I am Umaru Sandamadu. Tonight on Point Blank, my guest is a member of parliament for the people of Kratchi East in the Oti region. He's a first-timer and a member of the Eyezu party. The Honorable Nelson Kofi Jabab is my guest. You're welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Nice to see you.
Nice seeing you too.
What is Jabab? That's your surname, Jabab.
My surname.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. To begin, let me seize this opportunity to greet the good people of Kratchi East. That is from Dambai, Askoko, Katanga. And in fact, I know they are watching us from your show and they admire you.
Oh, they admire me?
They admire you so much.
Oh, I see. No, I just saw them.
Yo.
Problem. Continue.
Good. And so, with that, I want to thank your listeners, your viewers, and to say good evening to everyone. And it's an opportunity being together with you this evening. Just as you asked the meaning of the name.
Yes, Jabab. Yes.
The meaning of the name is simple. In Konkoma language, when you give birth to two male, one die leaving one, that is Jabab.
So like twins?
Yes, like twins. They are all male.
Okay.
If one died, the survivor one is called Jabab.
Jabab. Oh.
Uja means man.
Okay.
Oba means one.
Okay.
So Jabab means woman.
So you are Konkomba?
Yes, literally.
Oh.
Jabab means woman. And then if the child, the surviving child is a female, Piba.
Oh, okay.
Jabba Piba.
Jabba Piba.
Yes.
Now, I have always known that Kratchi is inhabited by Kratchi people, Nchumuru people.
Yes.
But you are Konkomba. So does it mean there are also Konkomba people?
Of course. Especially in Kratchi East, we have a lot of the Ewe people, we have a lot of the Konkoma people, then the Kratchi, the Nchumuru. In fact, it's a nice place because that is where you find the rare Ghanaian, fraternity.
It's a cosmopolitan.
I tell you.
Everybody did there some.
Everybody did there some.
So Dambai is your capital?
Dambai is our capital. And of course, Dambai doubles as the regional capital of the Oti region.
So you have the municipal capital and regional capital.
Yes.
You are a big man.
How do you know?
So if I went to the streets of Dambai, which language, or on market day in Dambai, what language do people typically speak?
Typically, because of the cosmopolitan nature of the place, we speak Chi.
Oh, okay.
You speak Ewe, people will respond to you.
Okay.
You speak in Chumuru, people will respond to you. You speak Konkoma, those who can speak will respond to you.
Okay.
You understand me?
Okay.
But predominantly, because of the cosmopolitan nature of the place, the predominant language spoken is Twi.
You can't mention Dambai without first saying Urara. Is Urara also in your municipality? Urara Dambai.
You can. Where I will agree with you is that probably you mention Oti, then you can talk about Urara and Dambai.
No, I'm saying that if you look at the long distance buses, the buses that carry passengers from Accra to that side, and then even the ones that carry Yemen, a lot of the time you have to say Urara Dambai. I don't know why. It's almost like a twin city, even though they are far from each other. Is it in the same district?
It's not in the same district.
So Urara is not in.
Yeah, that's why I'm not trying to get the connotation.
You are refusing to accept.
That's why I'm refusing to accept.
But you know that it's Urara Dambai.
Urara Dambai, yes. But better still, I would have wished Ketekrachi Dambai.
No. Ketekrachi Dambai doesn't even sound nice. Urara Dambai, everybody knows
Urara Dambai sounds nice to you.
To everybody, actually.
But what I want you to know, what I'm putting to you this evening is that Urara is in a different district altogether.
So that's which district?
In Biakuya district.
Oh, that's Biakuya district. Okay.
Rara, Abutuyase, Nkonya, they belong to one district. Okay. Of course, Biakuya district. And you get to Askoko, when we descend Rara Mountain, you are in Askoko, where recently the very first lady of Ghana went and then built a very nice maternity block for us at Askoko, across Askoko. Then from there, you had Pai Katanga, and this very nice town, Tukurano. Tukurano is next town. From Tukurano, you're going to Dambai.
As you mentioned them, I'm just picturing them because as recently as March, I was part of the Heritage Caravan.
Oh, okay.
And from the Volta region, actually from the eastern region, we went to Dambai and we crossed using the Ndeura Jakpa ferry.
Okay.
How is Ndeura Jakpa ferry doing? When we're going, we're wondering, we're scared. We're like, hey, so what if we get there and this ferry is not working? Because a lot of the times we receive news that the ferry has broken down, or it has got into the middle of the lake and it has stopped. So we're really scared. And we went on with 4 buses, a number of utility vehicles. Ndeura Jakpa carried us successfully and safely across. How is Ndeura Jakpa doing?
You know, the name Ndeura Jakpa is very powerful name.
Yes.
So a powerful king in the north.
Yes.
So Ndeura Jakpa is doing very well.
Except that the ferry itself is not as powerful. It has been breaking down so many times.
Also, we have Nanabusumuna. That's the paramount or the overlord of Krachi. Nanabusumuna.
So you have a ferry named after...
Yeah, we have a ferry named after...
Except that the ferry...
overlord of Krachi.
Except that ferry is not working. It's not worked for some time now.
Well, for some time now, it's been down.
It's broken down.
You know, Nanabusumuna is also a powerful chief, a powerful king. So very soon, he will be on course.
One of your colleague MPs, I've forgotten his constituency, he joined me last 2 weeks and told me that he was working on the ferry for you.
And that's honorable member for Akan.
Yes, honorable MP.
Honorable Yaugomado.
Yes, honorable Yaugomado.
Yeah, he's an engineer. That's the area.
So has he revived your ferry for you?
He has revived it, but it has not yet resumed work. We expect that in few days, probably to be put back on the water and it will start working.
I see. Now that issue of the ferry going to break down in the middle of the lake, have you identified what the problem is?
Well, this could be a technical problem, and as you know, issues of that requires engineering minds. Sometimes some propellers are weak and couldn't work, and that needed to be changed. They need to take it, go and service it, and then it can get to work.
Who owns that vehicle? Is it for the community? Is it for the VRA? VRA owns it.
Yeah, VRA owns
so VRA puts it on there for ferrying purposes.
Yes.
So apart from carrying people from Dambai Market to the other side, does it also take, or are there other ferries that take people to your neighboring district of Nchumuru?
As it stands now, from Dambai to neighboring districts, no. But what we do have is just those that cross people for purposes of crossing that Oti River at that point.
But I also saw wooden boats. Yes. Where do those ones go to?
Wooden boats. You've asked a very good question, an interesting one, of course. You know, Even in Accra, some people prefer to go by trotro. Others prefer to go by taxi. So there are others who prefer to go by Okada.
Yeah.
They feel that Okada is faster. They can commute and back quickly, and that fastens their business. It's the same way when you get to Dambai. There are people who feel that it takes time for the ferry to get full up. They wait for
cars to fill it up.
Trucks, cars to come and fill it up, and he's in hurry to get to wherever he's going. So if it is the wooden boat, there is even one smaller, known as service or myself.
Okay. Oh
yes, with a smaller engine.
And it's not a canoe. So it's a small boat with a
let me say a canoe.
A canoe, but
with an outboard
motor. Okay.
His pack sits now. Within less than 10 minutes,
it's full.
He's at the other side of the river.
Oh.
And he can go and come and meet you still loading in Dambai.
Oh, so people use that fast.
Exactly. So these are some of the reasons why somebody may go for that smaller canoe or the canoe itself or boat instead of going for the ferry.
But those ones cannot carry vehicles.
Of course, they can carry vehicles.
Okay, but they can carry motorbike and those
things. They are even not advisable.
Okay.
Because they are sometimes dangerous.
Do they carry life jackets?
They carry life jackets.
Okay.
They carry life jackets.
So are they regulated?
They are regulated by the assembly.
Okay.
But what I want to say is that sometimes it is safer you use the ferry itself than going by the smaller boats or whatever.
Except when the ferry has broken down.
But except that I would not like to go there too much to kind of spoiling my people's business.
I get you. Now, do you also have island communities that depend on your boats? Because the ferry doesn't seem to be going to island communities. What happens to people who in island communities?
Yes, this is a very good question.
That's very good questions.
Karachi X is one of the places where we have a lot of the island communities. In fact, it's one of the areas during your campaign you suffer a lot as an MP.
Okay, how are you going to campaign by the way? It means that you're also taking the ones you are not advising.
Yes.
Or you have your personal service, myself.
I have built one.
Oh, you have your own personal myself.
I have built one. If I'm going, I go with my team. Another thing.
How many people does it take?
And I wish I get a picture to show you here.
How many people does it take?
At least it take up to 15 members.
Oh, so they use it to do your campaign across?
We use it to do the campaign across. And
about how many overseas communities do you have?
36.
And you have to go and campaign in all those places?
Yes, you have to go and campaign all those places. And in Karachi, if you go to the eastern part, that is one of our wards. In fact, you have to cross the river. If you come to northeastern part, we have about 3 wards, which is also beyond another river you need to cross. And then now you come to Katanga, Pai Katanga. You go a little bit western part, you now meet a whole river which you need to cross to the bigger island known as the Pai Islands. This is a place where you have towns like Tumikope, Ativikope, Pai Old Town, Jerusalem, Vudogakope, Basari, Mimpasam. All these, I'm telling you, are electoral areas.
And you need the votes.
You need a vote.
And these people in these areas, how do they have basic amenities? Do they have clinics in those places?
Oh, you've asked a very good question. Sometimes when a woman is in labor there, let me use that as an example for you to appreciate their problem. And there happen to be storm on the river. It means they cannot take the person to the nearest town, which is Abutuase, and for that matter, get to Rara Hospital. So the situation must find a way of solving its own problem.
Wow.
There is no clinic there. And in fact, currently, what we have done as an intervention is with the meager, how do you call it?
Resources?
Yeah, resources, the MP's Common Fund, to at least get a cheap compound on that island. Because this is an island you're talking about close to 10,000 people on that island.
There's no hospital, no clinic.
No hospital, no clinic.
So if you build a chips compound, how do you get nurses and doctors to go and stay there? Because over there's just fresh fish stew you'll be eating all the time.
Yes. So what will happen is that once it's a priority, the municipal health directorate, of course, for schools, there are schools there.
Okay.
And the education directorate, all the time post teachers there.
Okay.
They go to stay there, they teach.
Okay.
But the essential amenity, which is lacking and that needs to be given priority, is health. Because as I said, especially when you come to a period around this time, there is storm on the river.
Especially at night.
At night.
So you can't cross. So, have you finished the chips compound, or you are still building it?
We have finished one, but you see that is also, it's like a whole land size by itself.
Okay.
So one is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are considering to go, and we are just starting another one too at the other end.
Okay.
So that we can serve these people too.
What about electricity? How do they have electricity from Akosombo Kania?
They don't have electricity from Akosombo Kania.
So how do they have power in that community?
You are in that community, your only source of power could be solar.
Okay.
And so currently I'm liaising with Minister of Energy. Minister of Energy, if you followed my question recently to him on the floor of Parliament, and Honorable John Janapo.
Okay.
And in fact, he's seriously paying attention to this. And in fact, I think by the end of our 4 year, under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, these people are going to see a new, because, of course, at the end of this tenure is when they will ever have the opportunity to health facility, like the health cheap compounds we are building there. And then the power we're thinking of supplying them in that island, this is the first time they will experience that.
So there's no way they'll have electricity, the normal, regular electricity with light poles that we have from the power, station, like
that one will be decided by the, the ministry, the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition, and from my layman point of view, there is a way it could be possible, but I don't want to probably think for the ministry, and I know that will be possible.
What about road infrastructure in your district? So the part that you don't have an island situation, I'm not sure you would have tarred roads in those island communities. Definitely not.
No.
So I won't even ask.
You don't ask.
There will be no cars there.
Exactly.
So you only use motorbikes, I'm sure.
We use motorbikes. We use motorbikes to move.
But the parts where you are not an island, so like for instance, if you're coming from Volta region to Dambai, that side, so from what was the status of your roads?
Okay.
Your feeder roads and all of those ones.
Because
you're a regional capital, so you're supposed to look good. But what I saw, I came to Dambai market and you have. It didn't look like a proper regional market for me, or a market for a regional capital. The yam sellers, they packed it on the floor, the onions and all of those things. Aboboya was moving up and down carrying yam, chaka. And I'm imagining if it had rained, it would have been poto. So can't you build a proper market for the Igbo?
I'm very happy you observed this.
Yes, I did.
And you remember I told you that under the leadership of John Dramani Mahama, is when we hope to see transformation in the area. You see, why did I say this? You've heard of 24-hour economy market. One is going to be constructed in Dambai.
Okay.
And that is going to solve the problem you've just anticipated or just enumerated. That's going to solve the problem. Beyond that, the government has also approved a fish market, a whole fish market. So even the markets we are saying, they are going to decouple them. The 24-hour economy market is going to cater for other goods like yams and whatnot. Okay. Then the fish market is also going to cater for the fish mongering and other fish-related activities.
So you have a vibrant fish market already in Dambai?
Vibrant fish market already in Dambai.
Because fishing is a big deal for you.
Fishing is a big deal for us in Dambai.
The fish I like to eat is vivlue.
You really like to eat it?
They say if you touch it, the stomach will bloat. I've not seen one before, but I want to.
Well, it's one of the mysteries. It's one. I'll bring you one and
bring me one. Let me do live.
It will not bloat your stomach.
It will not.
You'll be normal, Sandra. We know.
Oh, okay. So akpa and vivlue.
Akpa, you don't have problem.
Okay. I have a number of issues with your region. Let me ask this question.
Okay.
I have not been a fan of the creation of new districts, and indeed when the last administration wanted to create new regions, I said to myself, we created Upper West out of Upper East. As we speak, there's no proper road connecting Upper East to Upper West. So these new regions we are creating is just going to be bureaucracies that we are setting up. Can you show me or prove to me that since OT region was created in 2018 out of Volta region, something significant has happened which would have not happened if you were still in Volta region?
This is a very big question. And I want to tell you that, yes, of course, something significant has happened. The name region itself is something big that has happened. Now, you can expect that with the creation of the region, the regional amenities that comes in accompaniment with the region, you can expect them.
Do you have a regional hospital in Dambai?
That's what I'm getting to. That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah, but do you currently have a regional hospital?
We don't currently have a regional hospital.
After how many years? 8 years of existence or 8 years?
Yeah, after 8 years of...
you don't have a regional hospital?
We don't have a regional hospital, but we'll get there.
When will you get there? After 8 years?
We'll get there. I assure you.
How many secondary schools do you have in your regional capital, Dambai?
We have 3 secondary schools.
Do you have a university?
We have one at Skoko Secondary School. We have 2 Yabran Community Secondary School. We have 3. That is OT Senior Secondary Technical School.
And you have Dambai Training College or College
and we have
of
Dambai
Education.
College of Education.
But university, do you have a university?
We don't.
In the whole region?
We don't have university in the whole region.
But that's a problem.
It's a problem.
Why should people in OT region still go to Ho University or Hohwe for university education when you claim autonomy and that the development will come with this autonomy?
But you even know that Hohwe that has universities now, they didn't just get those universities overnight.
It took time.
It took time. So we also believe that with time we'll get a university.
We have to go, but...
And the regional hospital, let me tell you one interesting thing. Beginning of this year, the Minister of Health, Honorable Kwame Ntakando, took a working visit. In fact, he worked 3 days from Oti Regional Capital, Dambai. And what included in his working visit was to inspect a land given by the chiefs of Dambai for the building of the regional hospital.
We need to go, but you are planning to have, or the government wants to build a bridge for you.
Yeah.
Where is the bridge going to be? From where to where?
The bridge is going to be at Dambai.
Connecting to where?
It's going to connect immediately. It's going to connect Karachi East to Karachi in Jumro.
How useful or important is that bridge going to be to Ghana?
In fact, that bridge is going to be one of the game changer, especially in the transport that facilitate every economic drive in Ghana. And what am I saying?
Why? We already have the Oti Damanko bridge. Why do I need a bridge?
Yes, we have Oti Damanko bridge, but that place is far. Somebody from, let's say, Yendi, from Bandai, from Karachi Chumru, from Karachi West, to go and pass all the way Damanko and come through Basa, through Nkwanta.
It's a long journey.
It's a long journey.
So yours is a shortcut?
Ours is shorter.
How soon will that bridge be done? Have they started doing anything yet?
They've started the preliminary works.
Okay.
In fact, Sunday, I visited the construction site again. The contractor has mobilized a whole lot of machines to the site, and then the site camp is seriously being constructed, and you can find the alternative access route to the riverside itself. In fact, when that is properly done, then you can expect that the shortcutting will happen by His Excellency, I believe, and the necessary ministry concerned, and then the main work is going to take place. But with this one, I can now confidently say that it's not going to be a promise that will one day end on a note we don't all expect. Like some times ago, we saw that some presidents came there and promised that,
it's not some president, just one. Mention his name.
Nana Rodangwa Akufo-Addo.
He came and promised.
He came there and promised, and after he left, what they were now telling us that the fisher folks, the inland fishermen who use boats, small boats that you spoke about, said if they construct that bridge, their businesses were going to spoil.
So they didn't do it.
How could one believe in this?
Maybe he heard things that you haven't heard. Maybe national security briefing. Let's end it
National
here.
security briefing that what could have boosted the economy of Ghana is more important, or is less important, compared to what national security told you.
F.O. Nelson, Akpeno.
Which security will tell you this? I don't believe it.
F.O. Nelson, Akpeno.
It was the issue of incapability. But Mahama is capable. That is why he's taking up the challenge.
We'll be waiting. 4 years will come soon.
Thank you. And 4 years time, we will make sure that we satisfy all your curiosities. We know what journalists are looking for. You want information. I will give you good information.
Maba Akpe now.
Amen.
Maba Akpe.
Akpe now.
Okay, blabber masu Akpo.
Masu Akpo.
I cannot promise him, lo.
Cannot promise so.
I be Akpo if you even play Akpa. Play young.
It's done deal.
Okay, mercy.
It's done deal.
That's by way of Eyewitness News tonight. My guest, Nelson Kofi Jabab, Member of Parliament, Kratchi East. He was my guest on Point Blank. I am Omar Sandamado. I did this with a Jubi Wiafia Kenton. Produced by Beverly London, Kobina Wilson, Sami Wiafe. Technical support from Emmanuel Lati. New media support from Edwin Kwakofi and the team. Up next, I have Gabi Milito.